As we begin this Lenten season, a new book is providing a medical and spiritual look at the Passion of Christ. What Christ suffered, a doctor's journey through the Passion by Dr. Thomas McGovern, examines the physical sufferings of Jesus while exploring the deeper meaning and value of human suffering. Dr. Thomas McGovern joins us now on Skype. He is also the co-host of the Dr. EWTN radio show and podcast. Dr. McGovern, welcome back. Thanks so much for being here today to talk to us about this subject as we begin the Lenten season. I know that you've been interested in this aspect of the Passion for many, many years now, but what actually led you to write this book?
It's a long story that's in the book. The basic answer is it wasn't my idea. A friend of mine who works for our Sunday Visitor, Jason Shanks, is in a group I'm in, and he heard about my interest, my expertise, and asked if I would write the book. And I figured after all these years, if someone thought there was something worth writing about, I'd do it. And so our Sunday Visitor asked me to do that about 2 years ago.
That's wonderful. And in your research, what did you discover about Christ's physical sufferings?
Well, in writing the book, I wanted to dispel a number of fallacies that are out there, many fallacies that I had taught for decades in the talks I'd given until I saw that it was evidence that I was wrong. So I discovered that, yeah, he really suffered badly, but that it's very unlikely that he died of suffocation. It's most likely that his heels were nailed to the sides of the cross, not the front of the cross. I learned that the wine mixed with myrrh was really to make him suffer more, and that blood and sweat did come out of him, but not out of the same places in the skin, and many other fallacies. But the most important thing I learned, and my favorite part of the book in a way, is in the Garden of Gethsemane. Christ shows us how to successfully face fear and turn the adrenaline of fear into the ability to do great loving acts, as he did when he accepted and then lived through his passion.
Yeah, and how does the information that you learn correlate with what we've seen on the Shroud of Turin? Can you talk about that?
That's a good question. I purposely did not use the shroud as evidence for my book. I did it the other way. I wanted to get evidence that predated the shroud to see how it fit with what's seen on the shroud. And there is nothing contradictory between them. And I believe it takes more faith to believe that the Shroud of Turin is not Jesus' burial cloth than to believe that it is. So, for instance, on the shroud, you can't tell where nails went through the feet. I've talked to Shroud of Turin researchers who point out the fact that nails going through the front of the feet or through the heels could account for the blood flows seen there. So entirely consistent would be the bottom line answer.
Fascinating. Also, let's talk a little bit about the mental and emotional suffering that Christ endured. Talk a little bit more about that as well.
You know, we don't know what to do with suffering so well in our society. And I started researching this years ago, just how do we medical professionals understand our own suffering and the suffering of our patients? And I've learned that the price of love is suffering. That's what love costs. And the greatest suffering, God dying on the cross, provided the greatest love, the salvation of the entire human race. And that the meaning of suffering is salvation, is redemption. And it means that we all have a superpower. As priesthood of the laity, we are able to offer sacrifice on behalf of others to change other people's eternity by offering our suffering. And by seeing how Christ did that for us, he provides us the ability to do that for other people. And that is something that I think is a great untapped resource.
And before I let you go, we have about a minute or so left.
Sure.
Tell us, what would you like readers to take away from your book?
I wanted to give readers something for both their mind to know and the will to help them love and live better. Other books that doctors have written are great for engaging our mind. What did Christ go through? But I want them to know what Christ went through better while correcting a lot of fallacies, but also then how to take it and apply it in their own lives. Christ is the example, and we are the ones who are supposed to be able to live it out. The favorite line that I've read during the pandemic deals with suffering. I forget which saint said it, but he said, Christ did not come to us to take away suffering. Christ did not even come to us to explain suffering, but he came to suffer with us. And for me, that provides a great deal of solace and understanding. And when I see how he suffered for us, I can at least offer my little sufferings up for others, trying to imitate him the best I can.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Dr. McGovern, for coming on and sharing that with us. And congratulations on the book. We appreciate talking to you.
Thank you very much.